part is the vault, the upper part is the vault lid.
The lighting.
And we do that because in the past, I guess you've heard of people being buried 6 foot deep.
Right.
Graves initially were buried 6 foot deep, and they were buried in pine boxes. But what was neglected was that the families didn't put identifying marker there. And this is why we have so many unknowns out here. We've had the canine to come out, and canine meaning the dogs from the state, to find the bodies, and then to prove that out, we use penetrating radar, where they use a machine to go over and see if in fact there is some remains down there that the dogs have found. Using that procedure there, we located over 250 graves, and if you walk around you will see markers. To give you an example, there's one right there. See that steel marker, I don't know if you can tell that over in your place, but there's a steel marker there which indicates that there's a grave beneath that marker.
Okay.
And on that marker you will see GPS, that means ground penetrating, or GPR, ground penetrating radar. And there's a number. I have that on a big layout, and it tells you where they are and where they'll be found. This cemetery is laid out in areas and sections. When you first come in the north gate, that first area that you see to your left as you come in is what we call Area A. This center part here would be Area B, and that over there would be Area C. Now, the grave is marked off in sections. Sections meaning that section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4. Each section is considered a plot. It's 20 by 20. A grave space is 5 by 10. So in a 20 by 20, you would actually have 8 grave spaces, if you count it out. That's 4 and 4. 4 front, 4 back. That's 20 feet. Okay? And then that one would be like section 1, then section 2, and then section 3, section 4. People in the past would buy a complete plot, which constitute 8 spaces, and that's where they would put their family members. Okay? So what we are doing now in the process of, to make it easy, if someone came to me and say, I'd like to find my grandfather, Mr. Jones. Well, there are tons of Jones. I have to say, well, which Jones are you referring to? That's where the computer comes in. Then in there you would find, well, okay, the particular Jones you're looking at may be in section Area B, section 102. So instead of having to walk this entire cemetery looking for Mr. Jones, I can direct you to within 20 feet of the place you're looking at. And you can come in and go in that area and you'll find it. That's the process behind that. Where we are sitting here now, this roadway used to be the end of the cemetery. This part here is what they, for people who didn't have anything. And this is where they buried people. You know, you see the old Bluefield thing where nobody didn't have anything, so they came in and buried people. And this part in here was for people who didn't have anything. And then back in 1948, the city of Topon, that part was deeded by the state. The city of Topon Springs decided we needed more room. Because as you know, this was a segregated place. That road initially was not there, that you see out there, Jasmine. This was all one. But like in everything else in life, they separated it. So they put a road in between, and then they had the blacks buried over here and the whites buried over there. And for a long period of time, the Greeks even had trouble having their loved ones buried over there. So this is where we stood, and in 1916, although the cemetery was here before that, in 1916 it was actually deeded to people from the community on a 100-year lease. In other words, you kept it for 100 years, and at that time it became part of the Union Academy neighborhood, part of Topon Springs community. I got involved in 1991, having retired from New York City Transit Authority, and I came down, and actually I was born here.
Me too.
I'm original. So where were you?
And I lived in New York too.
Okay. So after retiring in 1990, I came down, and I came out here, and this place, you wouldn't believe it, it was deplorable. I mean, it was leaves all over the place. the park wasn't out there, and people was going down Tampa, that road out there, and coming in the back and doing a lot of illegal dumping, and it was all over the place. And I initially wanted to come down and work with kids and young adults. But that soon stopped because I found out these kids didn't know how to say good morning, good afternoon, thank you, no thank you, yes, no, and all of that. They had a different perspective. I was doing it through the church, and then I found out that, the little red thing in your mouth is the most dangerous thing in the world. You ain't got something to say good, you shouldn't say anything. But I'll speak the truth. But I found out while working through the church that the minister didn't know how to delegate authority. And what I mean by that, if you go to a church and you agree to handle a program, you handle it your way, because the object is to get from A to E. We may not travel the same route, but the ultimate goal is E. You have your way of doing it, I have my way of doing it. See? And if there's something wrong in between, let's sit down and talk about it. I don't want to hear about it when I'm sitting in church and making an announcement and telling me about what I'm going to do with my time. I said, wait, I don't want that. I've been in administration too long. If I'm given a project to do, it's my project. You got a problem with the way I'm doing it, then let's discuss it. You don't go talk to the people that's working under me, telling them about what I'm going to be doing before I hear it. That's a no-no.
Absolutely.
No, that's absolutely a no-no. So I got involved with cemetery. And I had a gentleman to donate me an old John Deere tractor. He was really old, but he ran. And I came out because I couldn't get the community to participate. So I came out and I thought I'd do it myself. And I was riding around on this tractor, weed so high, and I was cutting gas, and I was singing a song that a lady used to sing that's right over there. Name is Stella Henderson. When I was a little boy, I go to church, and she used to always sing this song, Bringing in the Sheaves. I thought it was Bringing in the Sheep. So I used to always go out there, Bringing in the Sheep, Bringing in the Sheep. Until I looked at the words and I found out it was sheaves. Well, there was a gentleman passed by there one day out on the outside, and he saw me in here doing that, and he came through the gate and he wanted to know, was I okay? Because it seemed strange. Here I was out here with this big hat on and riding this old tractor, and I'm singing songs, so he thought maybe I was a little bit off the wall. But I said it. I knew a lot of these people when I was a little boy. So it relates to me, like I said, I'm a village child, because they had a lot to say to me when I grew up. Like, boy, don't grow up to be a hooligan, grow up to be somebody.
Right.
Don't run with that crowd and do this and do that. So I found that beneficial. So really, when I come back, I feel perfectly at home here. There's a lot of these people out here that I knew when I was a little boy. So they're not strangers to me. So when I look at them, I can relate to what they did and how they acted and all those different things. So it's really a nice thing to me.
Do you know the approximate age of the site?
This site, the oldest grave you'll find here is 1904. But the site was actually going before that time. So I couldn't tell you. Over in that area back in there, in 1916, according to the Topland Springs leader, there's a dedication of that particular family back there. And this was done at a time when all of this was Hillsborough County.